Our next example asks us to construct a scatter plot for a study conducted to determine the relationship between the dosage of a new drug and the heart rate of patients who take the medication. And so, again, we must begin the problem by deciding which variable will be the x and which one will be the y. Remember that the x values should represent the independent variable and the y value should represent the dependent variable. It would make sense that heart rate would depend on the dosage. And so heart rate will be my dependent variable, or my y, and dosage will be the x. Remember that the independent variable is the one that you control, and when taking a medication, you would control the dosage on that medication. And so x should be the independent variable, the dosage, and heart rate should be the dependent variable. Okay, so let's begin our scatter plot by drawing our x and y axis, and then we'll look at scaling off both of the numbers, both sets of numbers. When I look at my x values, I notice that they are decimals and that the smallest decimal value is 0.125 and the largest decimal value is 0.5. And so it might make sense for the x values to scale off 0.10, 0.20, 0.30, 0.40, and 0.50. When I look at my y values, I notice that the smallest y value is 80 and the largest is 95. And so I might scale off starting at, maybe I start at 75 and count by fives. To 100. And that is my heart rate. And so then I want to begin plotting my points. I should have 7 points when I'm done. The first point has an x value of 0.125, and I'm going to have to estimate just a little bit as far as where that's at, and a y value of 95. So the first point should fall right about there. The second point has an x value of 0.2 and a y value of 90. The third point has an x value of 0.25 and a y value of 93. The fourth point has an x value of 0.3 and a y value of 92. The fourth point has an x value of 0.35 and a y value of 88. The fourth point has an x value of 0.4 and a y value of 80. And the last point has an x value of 0.5 and a y value of 82. Okay, so as we look at this scatter plot, we then need to determine what type of relationship is existing between the two variables. I would first of all comment that the distribution shows a negative relationship because the points seem to be moving down. I would also say that it's showing a linear relationship because the points seem to fit a linear path. And so I'm going to say most definitely a negative linear relationship existing between these two variables. Now, what does that mean specifically for dosage and heart rate? And remember that this concluding statement that we're going to write should start off with the independent variable increasing. So I'm going to say, as the dosage increases, then what happens to the heart rate? Well, as the dosage gets more and more, the heart rate is coming down. And so now we have drawn our scatter plot, and we've also interpreted what kinds of conclusions that can be drawn from looking at that scatter plot.